Hi there. This is H. Victoria Hugger Atkerson. I had a special request. I've been asked this question several times, and I have been avoiding it because it's a very emotional issue for me. I've been asked, what do I think of the election? And I usually just smile at people and just say, we'll pray our way through it. But in my personal opinion, uh, yeah, I was asked twice today, and I thought, okay, if I'm going to express my feelings about this election, I should do it before the election, because after the election, there will be no need. So, on election eve 2016, I can tell you this election has sickened me. It has been the most embarrassing thing to experience because this country is supposed to represent equality, justice, freedom for all people, tolerance, and we're supposed to be the welcome mat for the whole world. But we have a candidate for the Republican Party who is the equal of George Wallace and other segregationists and racists of our past. And this come out of my childhood. I'm a Southern black woman. I was raised in a segregated South. I had to sit in the back of the bus. I could not sit in certain cafeterias, restaurants because of my black skin. So for someone to tell me we're going back to anywhere in American history, you're talking to the wrong person. It's the most appalling thing to me to have this man run for president of the United States, the highest office in the country and the top party of this country, to have this man run as a representative of what's good in our country is really the most appalling thing I've experienced. And it has been difficult to watch him uh, speak. It has been difficult to just to watch his mannerism, his angry face, and to hear him spill his hatred for all these wonderful people of color that he detests. He has made it very clear that Hispanics, gays, uh, American Indians, Muslims, people who are handicapped, women, he looks down on all of us. So what is there left? His white male society? Is that what he's looking for? I think we lived through that atrocity because out of that system that was in the past, we had slavery and we had segregation. We had Jim Crow laws where thousands and thousands of black people were hung because they were unfortunate enough to be exposed on their way home from work or caught outside after dark. At one time, blacks were not allowed out of the house after dark in certain places. And this isn't that long ago. We're talking about the 50s here. And in some places, the 60s. So this election has been the most nauseating thing that I have experienced in quite a long time. It is important to me that we elect someone who has the ability to move our agenda forward. Someone who can make sure that all people have equal rights in this country. That means equal opportunities in the courtrooms, in the social arena, political arena, wherever. We need to make sure this is happening. Now, my first awareness of politics was at a very young age. It took years for me to realize that I was already involved in politics. I had a mother who was an activist. She had my sister and I, who is a year younger than I am, out registering people to vote. She took one side of the street and we took the other side of the street. And she told us, make sure If people cannot write their names, make sure you help them spell their name and help them to put it on the paper. And then we gave the forms back to her, and she had them mailed in. And it was just a something to do. It was not. It was like an activity. We didn't know we were doing anything political because we didn't know what politics was. Like I said, I think the first time I was 11, my sister was probably 10. I don't know. We were so young, but that habit has always been a part of my life. I've always participated in voter registration drives. I've always been a part of um, the political life in this country, and I've also always encouraged children to be a part of it, even though you don't actually know what's going on. My great-grandchildren, my grandchildren come with me when I go working on the polls or whatever, working in the campaign offices. It's important that I set the example for me as my mother did for me. Like I said, I came from a segregated society. I couldn't sit in the front of the bus, had to sit in the back of the bus. But whenever I went north to New York on the train, we could sit up front. And you know why? Because the engines were fueled by coal. And the coal, the ash, the soot that came from the engine always landed in the front car. So, of course, they did us a big, big deal and let us sit up front. Isn't that horrific? And this man was to take us back to that? I think not. It's insulting to see him on TV with his bad hairdo, and it's insulting for me to even think about that person living in the White House after Barack Obama. I mean, for the example of elegance, for an example of intelligence we've had for the last 8 years, although we had the most insane Congress that has ever existed in our country's history. We had this wonderful family, black family, staying in a house that was built by blacks in a city that was designed by a black man. Can't get any more perfect than that. So we're getting ready to elect, I pray, our first female president, and hopefully this would not be the last first that we have. Everyone should have the opportunity to be a part of this democracy. And all of us should pick up the mantle and go to the polls and vote. It's important because that's our future, that's our children's future, and the destiny of this country is hanging on the balance. We do not want to see or hear anything about the KKK or Donald Trump or anybody in his family, to tell you the truth. And the fact that he's buddy with Russia and all these other countries where he's looking to make money, that's his own personal business. I hope he will do us all a favor and move there. I also think that the political life that we've been experiencing the last 25 years has been controlled by large corporations and their desire to make a lot of money. We have the Native American Indians fighting for water, their rights to water, to fresh, clean water on their land. We have to do something. Each one of us have a part to play, and each one of us has the right to say what we want for our country and our children's future. So tomorrow is the big day. We must all get out and vote. So let's do that. Let's get this job done, and let's let the KKK, Donald Trump, crawl back under their rock, because that's where they belong. So, my opinion, it's not pretty. But I tell you, it's sincere. It's sincere. Like I said, it has been one of the most embarrassing times for me to watch this on TV and in living color. It has been absolutely a very sad thing to watch. But I thank you for tuning in and listening. And I hope you will get out and vote and make America great because it's and greater than it already has been. We're moving forward and we're looking forward. And as Hillary said, we are better together. I like to do positive things because it makes me feel good and it makes others feel good. It's one of those things where we always move forward when there's positive energy behind us. We always do our best with positive energy, and that's where we want to go toward the future, toward something great, something that would be great for everybody's children. So take care. Love to you and your family. And thanks for the questions. God bless.